Hello guys, welcome back, and in this episode we are going to looking into how we could build a API for changing the password. Okay, so basically user is going to enter his existing password along with a new password. If the old password matches with the existing password in the database, the password is going to be updated. Okay, so the change password here, in the context here I'm mentioning, the user has already logged in. Okay, so we have to perform this operation only if the user has already logged in. Okay, so it doesn't mean if the user forgets the password he cannot use this API. Okay, so there is a different APIs for that, so we'll develop in that future. For now we are going to apply a change password only if the user has logged in and if he enters his exact old password and a new password. Okay, so let's get started guys. So in the last episode we completed the registration API, so let's create another case here. I'm gonna call it okay, I'm gonna call it like change password as we did change so okay, we'll just leave it as like this. So I'll just use my API like that, $auth. Okay, I'll just call change password here. So I'm just writing the old code here, so the existing code, we are going to do that. Yep, there we go, and the break. Okay, so basically the first statement is to call the change password by sending the post method, and the next is to get the response of that uh, particular operation. Once it's done, I'll just send that response to the client. Okay, yeah. So before that, actually, yeah. So while logging up, the user going to enter username and his password, right? So we have to make sure this time we call this API also, not this API, actually this function will be called to make sure the user has logged in. So we have, oh, oops, okay. So we have a is logged in method, which is going to help us to check if user has really logged in or not, right? Let's check that. Okay, so hold on. That's good. Now let's get me to the authentication here. Yeah, so here I'm going to create a function which is change password, and it's going to take a request. Yeah, the first thing I have to do is make sure the user has sent me the old password and a new password. Okay, so old passwords key is going to be like a password, and new password I'll say new password. Okay, so let me show you how I'm going to take that. Okay, so let's duplicate this. Okay, I'll change it this to, okay, so that's the API. Here it's gonna be same as that. Yep. So in the body, I'm gonna pass instead of username here. So sorry, it's the old one. So password, I'm gonna pass the password of the person who has logged in. So in the case right now, it's assume it's ABCD. Okay, and then new password. Okay, new password. It's gonna be like 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Okay, so for the testing I'm using this password guys. It doesn't mean the user is going to go and use the same thing. Okay, so this is the test example, and for another reference I'm going to also send the username. Okay, so in some cases like user may be trying to manipulate the data, so I doesn't want him to mess with these things, so I'm going to make sure I'm editing the right user with the right password, and that's it. Okay, it's a kind of a verification stuff. Okay, I need a username, a password, and a new password. So, and also I'll make sure the session is also existing in the client. Okay, I'll copy this. That's okay, fine, we could do this. Okay, so it's gonna say check for username, password, and the final one is new password. Yeah, So once if everything is okay, so if I get the three values, I'm ready to update the existing table, right? So in the database, like in the database code, we have an update simple method which is going to update uh, a single column, okay, a single column or a single field based on one single variation. Okay, for now I need to get where column and where value. Okay, so already in the session I should have a user, right? So I'll just check if is set of dollar underscore session, oops, session of uid. So okay, hold on, let me just show you. Where is it? Yeah, here. So when the user has successfully logged in, okay, it should be around down here. Yeah, so when the user has logged in, I'm pushing a uid, a username and a password. Okay, the password is the original password actually. Is it really? Yeah, so original password has been stored. Wow, that's actually not good. Really? No, 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 no. I'm thinking I'm storing the, yeah, I'm storing the MD5 password. Okay, the encrypted password I have stored. So that's okay. So now this is not a big use right now. So I'm not gonna do this since I don't believe in session much. So I'm gonna check for the username. Okay, first I'm make sure user ID has been set. If the user ID has been set, I'll then check if the username is the same one with the session. Okay, I'll just write the code, you'll understand it better rather than I'm speaking. Okay, unexpected semicolon. Oops. Okay, so UID, if is set of UID, okay, if not, okay, if not, I'll just set the status to that value. Okay, first thing I'm making sure if there is a UID. Okay, it should be in parentheses. Okay, now I will check if the session's username and the given username is the same one or not. Okay, we could say if dollar underscore session, oops, okay, session username is equal to the request username. What if it's not? Okay, so we have to make sure only not cases here, not the equalizations. So I'll just make sure if they are not equal, I'll set the status and I'll just create the response. Okay, so right now we are not concentrating on what response the end user is going to get, we are only concentrating on the process. Okay guys, so I'll just make an episode of that, how you could create different statuses and make sure the error exactly reaches the end user. Okay, for now we are just only making sure the process goes exactly how we want. So if it goes, the API shouldn't work. Okay, that's what we are expecting here today. Okay, now we checked there is a session, and then we are also checking the username in the session is the same one with the client side. Okay, now if they are both are same, we need to create a query to get the password of the user. So yeah, so we don't check from the session, instead we'll check from existing database directly. So that would a really good one. Okay, that is really good one. So yeah, db, I think that's the object. Now this hyphen db colon, it's a read simple. Okay, now so the syntax for reading from that thing is here. Okay, so we already wrote that, so I doesn't wanna take it more, so I'll just copy this. Yeah, so we're taking a read simple the from the table named blog underscore user underscore credentials. So where I'm fetching all the fields and I'm passing the UID. So now we need the UID, right? So the UID is already in the session, so I'll use the same UID, dollar UID equal to dollar underscore session of UID. So we already checked this session for that, so we'll get a value. So based on value I'm setting that, so we'll get a response. Now we have the response what we need. Okay, so now we could check if the password is the same. If uh, dollar underscore, not dollar underscore, actually it's the result of 0. Okay, so it will be an array, so we'll make sure that. So and password is equal to the password which I have got from the client. Yeah, so if the password is the same thing that has been sent by the user, I'm gonna apply array update query. Okay, so it's like an update query. So I'll just write this, copy, paste it here. So I'll just change it to update simple. Okay, so we have already checked about this thing, right, in the database.php here. Yep. So update simple, the first key is table name, and then the column name, the column which we want to modify, and the value which we want to replace with, and then we have to apply the where clause, right? So okay, hold on, I think I haven't opened this. Okay, hold on. It's better if you check the schema too, so it will be giving an idea if you haven't been visiting my previous episodes. Okay, so let me update in meanwhile. Okay, so instead of star I'm gonna take it as password, and then the password is md5 of the new password, right? Dollar request of new password. So yeah, so we need to hash the existing password. So like it's a giving you a security, so I'm just using a simpler method. So if you want, you could use a different salt methods if you want and hash the password, so it gives a little security for your application. Okay, it's really required to add security, guys. Okay, so yeah, in this table if you see, so this is how this schema is. Okay, it's a UID mapped with another table, that's an okay, and the password which is md5. Okay, so now admin is the password, I mean admin is the first UID. Okay, one is mapped to admin, so this password should change to something else. Right now it's abcd, so that's the hash value of abcd. So if you modify it to like 1 2 3 4 5 6, this hash value should change to something else. So let's try. Okay, let me just complete this and we'll check it. Okay, so finally we have to apply this thing. So the status will be set to 200, so we are okay, fine, we'll be fine with that. Status is 200. Once it get complete, okay, dollar this status is equal to 200. Yeah, so if everything goes fine, we'll just set the status. Okay, so there will be an else clause here, which is going to return a 400 here, so in case the password doesn't match with this thing. Okay, now uh, it's time to check our existing, I mean this thing. Okay, let's try, let's apply this. I hope this doesn't gonna go well. It should throw some error if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it just got a 400 error, which means we have stopped somewhere else. Okay, let me check if the password has updated. No, the password hasn't updated, which means we stopped somewhere else in here in the authentication. So it just threw 400. So which means we haven't logged in. So maybe that's the reason. Okay, let me check my login. First, let me just log in here. Okay, so yeah, it's just sent me the status 200. Okay, that's good. Now I'll just check is logged in. Yeah, so there is a session for the user. Now it's go to change the password. Okay, still it's throwing error. So let's do the ecosystem. Okay, so this is how we debug it. Sorry guys, that's my bad. Actually, I just wrote it wrong. It's update. I wrote something say spelling mistake, so that's the one throwing error. So let me throw this console log off, and yeah, let's send the request. Now it should give 200 if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so there you go. The status is 200. It's a success. Okay, the password has been changed to something else. That's a good. That's a good point. So now let's turn off everything. Okay. I mean the echo statements, the debugging statements we have applied. I'll just turn them off. Yeah, so if I click again, now it should throw me 400 because the password has been changed from ABCD to 12345 6. So before that I'll show you. Okay, if I go here, yeah, so you could see. Okay, so earlier it is this one, okay, E2 something like that. Now it's E10 something. So the hash of 12345 6 is this one. Okay, so now let's try the postman again. So see if it throws 400 error. Yeah, it's throwing. You could see, there you go. So you could see there is a 400 error. That's because the password has been updated. So let me try in this order. So I'll just say 123456 is the new password. I mean the old password, and I want to update it to uh, ABCD. So I'm just doing a toggle thing. Okay, so there we go. Now it's 200. Now the password should be updated. You could see it's E10. So if I refresh, it should be like E2 something. This one, the second one, will be the same as the first one right now. There we go. So the password has been updated. So the user can log in right again. So I'll update the password once again. Okay. So I'll just change it to 456789, and my old password is 123456. Oh, oops. Just so the existing password is ABCD. Oops. Why is this happening? Okay, so the password is ABCD, so I want to update it to 456789. Okay, let's click send. Yeah, so the password has been updated to 456789. So now I'm gonna make I'll just log out. Okay, send. So yeah, status 200. So user has been logged out. If I click send, it should say yeah, the session isn't existing, so session is false. Now if I click login here, so if I send if I click on send, it should throw me an error. You could see. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. So it's a 400 because password is wrong. So the password I handed is been changed. So it is no more valid. So if I enter 456789 and click send, voila, there we go. So you could see now the status is 200. So this is how you could update the passwords, guys. So this is one of the simplest methods. So if you wanted, you could make it more complex. You could also use methods. So I'm not using any methods here to verify all this stuff. I'm just doing it in a scrap, so it's easier to make an explanation all the time, or else the password, like if I give the references, it will be a really difficult one. So I'm just explaining a small codes if they are required. Okay, so that's it for this episode, and make sure you leave a like if you haven't yet, guys, and leave your comment in the comment section, so it will be a little more easier to understand what I could make in the next episodes. Okay, thank you, bye bye, and I'll be meeting you in the next episode.